Sorry, this is part two of my video. So, the COVID-19 debate, and I know that lots of districts and schools are fighting it. We also had, like I was saying before, we had parents that were creating social media groups that were bashing the school and telling that and spreading a lot of false negativity. And so that was really hard, and we're still kind of debating that, but not as bad as we were first semester. Stuck in our old ways. We have a lots of community members that don't exactly know what we do in school or why we change things, and so they don't really want to change how they are or what we do, and so they get really frustrated. So just challenging that process is hard in our community. And then just the lack of community support. And I'm saying this from a teacher standpoint, and I'm not trying to bash Russell in any means. However, it's really hard to be a teacher in a community that doesn't seem to have as much appreciation, especially when the last 2 years have been really, well, actually 2.5 years have been really, really tough and hard. And so we have a lot of people that would rather just whine and complain and tell us to do better than actually say, I see you, I hear you, I know that you're trying your best, because that's what ultimately what teachers are doing. And community members, some get it, but others don't. And so there's just that, like, lots of disagreement. But I do know that we are in as far as politics go, we're in a Republican county or a Republican city. And, they are very stuck on that side. They are very one-sided, and it's hard for them to see the other side. And that's just the culture and the climate of that community. And you have a lot of white presence in that community, and a lot of just one-sided community members. And so that's really hard. And I think the another challenging point of just the social tension is whatever the parents are saying at home, their kids, they say it in front of their kids, and then the kids bring it to school. And then, so we hear it from not only outside on social media or at the board meetings, but we also hear it in our classrooms because our students are bringing it in. And we do the best just to say, we're here to protect you. That's not something you need to worry about. So there's just a lot, like, add on all the other stressors of the pandemic and it can become consuming. The next part is previous community efforts. So as far as a bond election, they've tried one a while back. It's been a long time, but we have a lower income base, and so even thinking about a bond is kind of like out in La La Land. Like, I don't think it'll happen currently. Russell updates on facilities. So they did update, or they are updating this spring, the summer pool liners and getting a new slide. They're working on replacing lots of out-of-date sidewalks, and they have like forms and stuff that you can sign up if you think your sidewalk needs replaced. They're doing a lot of downtown renovations. They have this whole goal of trying to make it the plan that they have already outlined. They just want to make it more inviting and entertaining and more appealing for people to come down and shop, which I think is great. They just recently completed the Lincoln Street update, where they went through and they demolished all of Lincoln Street and then relaid concrete down. It was a process because Lincoln Street is the back part of my school, and we are on a whole block by ourselves, and so we needed them to hurry up so we could use the back part of our block for pickup. And we were very nervous that that would not be done, and it got done, but it was like up to the timeline. And then they're working on updating the south side of Russell, so like right by the I-70 corridor, just to get easier flow for traffic. So if you want to go get, you need to get your gas or your McDonald's or, visit any of those other places, they want to make it smoother instead of having to wait to cross traffic. And then the last thing that this is in the works, Senator Bob Dole was originally from Russell, and so they're looking at getting a memorial. They have kind of where they want it. They just need to make sure they have the funds to get this memorial set up for Bob Dole. And then power structure. So it runs one person, which is our superintendent. I think she's a great person, but I struggle with some of her trust and communication, and then just focusing on wrong things, and then trying to tourniquet certain problems. I think it just comes down to you're stuck in the middle, and it's like people are not going to agree with you anyways. I feel like she stepped up a lot during COVID, but we're just not in the know. Or when she when she texts like the group, or like our email our group, or like teachers, there's a lot of confusion in her emails. Or like the other day, we had a lockdown because of a situation with an arrest. There was no imminent danger to any of us, but the way she put it made it sound like we were in super danger. And I don't know, it's just things like that. The communication, I think, lacks, and then the trust. Sometimes I think she says something to one person and it gets changed to something else, but it also could be telephone, that game where, you just hear from somebody else. And then focusing on the wrong things. Like, I feel like sometimes we just get so busy of focusing on the high school that we forget about the other grades, or vice versa. And then Russell in general, they can be bullies, and they have shown it this year with COVID. And sometimes it makes me uncomfortable. But you just need to know what community you kind of work in. Multicultural issues. We have limited multicultural. We do have some families that don't speak English, but a majority, like a small portion, don't speak English. And then we have staff members that respect the differences in customs, and we use it as a learning moment. I had a student who was part Indian, and she talked about how they celebrated different holidays than us, which was great. I also had, Jehovah Witness, and we respected their customs. If they don't do this, then we won't have them do it. And then, of course, dress code, that can be discussed by administrators on a certain basis if you need that done. Public opinion. Our staff knows that we have holes in our school. Our community, I don't know if they do know that we have holes like in our education system as far as like hiring teachers, or like some of the things that our district has us do. And I don't know if it's because they don't care, or they just don't know, or they don't know the realm of good education versus bad education. There's just so many factors in that. And then community and funding. Like, I feel like our community knows that we don't have the needs to update our facilities, because I know lots of districts struggle with that. However, I feel like you would want to like make it better for your kids, but not a lot do. So, and we don't have that whole debate. Like, I know Hayes has private and public. We don't. We just have public, but we have people that like older people that don't feel like they need to pay for education for kids, even though that's like the future leaders. I don't know. It's just kind of different for me. And what should be done to increase understanding? So we just need to be honest and open, continue to hold like those gating community opportunities, surveys and flyers and social media. And then here's my correlation. It correlated because I had to dig around in the background of the community that I work for. And I got so busy sometimes that I commute from job, because I don't live in Russell, I live in Hayes, that I don't pay attention to all the community happenings and the demographics. I just kind of go work home. And so it was nice to know just some of those little statistics. And Russell is a small town with a small, diverse population. So I was able just to kind of look and internalize and analyze why our district is facing certain challenges that we are, and how to provide a pathway to maybe better that so we're not facing that. My relevancy, this assignment was relevant because I needed to know the community that I'm working for as a future school leader. I need to be aware of the community's successes and the needs that they need and how they impact the school, students, and their families, and the teachers. In order to be a leader, you need to be aware of who you are leading, where you're leading, what you're leading, and why you're leading. Otherwise, there's no point in you being a leader. And then this assignment improved my understanding of promoting community engagement because it allowed me to analyze my community. I learned about the changes in the community and how it can impact a school or the district. And I just need to be aware of cultural differences and customs because we need to build those positive relationships with stakeholders. And then my reflection is it has impacted me because I'm more aware of the community skeleton and how it functions. I need to be able to foster relationships with stakeholders and the community to build support for school growth. My community needs as my community has a hub of the school, but my school also needs a community. So I just need to make sure that we are correlating together, and that I need to be aware of this community's needs, so that way I can better serve them in the future. And I need to know the resources that I have available for my students, staff, and their families. And then I need this assignment influenced me because I'm able to look through the community through a clearer lens about my community, and be aware of the demographics and how that can lead to me to advocate and support students and their families. And it has made me a better educator and leader because I need to be just consciously aware, especially since I don't live there. And I found insight in the demographic statistics, organizations, and leadership's community and how it functions. I thought it was eye-opening and imperative that all leaders in a position, especially in a new community, are aware of who you're serving and how to best serve them. So I grew in knowledge, but it also helped me in growing in leadership, to better fit my school and my community. Thank you.